I was born.
Gobble, gobble, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. This episode of the Pump Drink Talk podcast is brought to you by Turkeys Everywhere. Eat chicken. Anyways, I hope everyone is having a great, fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. I know when this episode of the podcast is released, it will be past Thanksgiving, but this is the Thanksgiving episode 2025 from the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Conrad here.
Oh, yeah. Hilton.
And George.
Sorry, Hilton. I put you on the spot there.
I was getting my cigar lit.
It is Thanksgiving time, gentlemen. I am thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for all of the new friends that we've made over this year. I am thankful for my health, the happiness that being in your guys' presence brings me. And what is this, number 2 or number 3 Thanksgivings we've spent together? It's crazy. Let's keep this going.
We've done more than that, but you know.
Yeah, but I meant from the podcast perspective. We've been doing this for a couple years now. So cheers to many more, gentlemen. Let's keep this going. This has been a lot of fun, a wild ride, to say the least.
Yeah, so we are saying what we're thankful for. I'm very thankful for the network that I created this year, man. With using the Puff Drink Talk as a brand and name. So we got a lot of different business owners to come over here. And do you know what? They say it's the best event they ever been to. So every time that they come, right? And then
that's your baby.
Yeah, and it's awesome, man. It's really good. I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful to the people that come and support, and because the event without the people paying to come, it's not the same, right? So you need to have the people like wanting to come, and the sponsors that we have. The last month I had like 17 sponsors. You know what I mean? It's like I cannot make it up, man. It's been awesome. It's been great. But yeah, I'm thankful for all this networking also that I've been doing, and of course, our friendship. Can never say no to that, of course.
Absolutely. That's amazing to see how your networking. Sorry, George, to break you before you go into what you're thankful for, but to see how this networking group that you've come to fruition. I mean, this podcast, the thought of having the podcast, and then transitioning into event networking group, basically, meeting once a month, how it's completely changed. I think a lot of local business owners here of the Austin, Texas area, obviously this podcast has brought tons of enjoyment. Every single person that comes on here says, I can't wait to come back and do it again. It's always the feeling is mutual from us hosts that are here. We love every single guest that we've ever had. Everyone brings a very unique perspective of not only their life but their business, and it's awesome to give a small business owner a platform to really get their word out there, their business out there, to do a little bit of advertising and have just kind of a relaxed, free-form discussion about what they do.
Having said all that, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like and share with your friends, so to get this podcast more well known. Because YouTube, it's a great platform. We use it. We watch videos on it. I cannot complain about it too much because they have their policies, and but because we smoke cigars, they don't push the content. So we rely on you pushing and sending the link for people to watch more than anything else. Because if you have a podcast just talking shit like what we do, without the cigars, you would be more successful. With the cigars, it's not as much, because YouTube goes like, no, there's an adult audience. I don't want to promote, cigar smoking and all of that kind of thing. So we rely on you getting the link and share and send to your friends and say, hey, watch this podcast. I've been in it. These guys are interesting. I can't say that we are funny.
We have our funny moments, that's for sure.
and then gonna say that you're interesting at least. Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
But what it does, it also isn't just supporting our channel, but it's helps supporting local business owners. At the end of the day,
For sure.
entrepreneurs, the doers, the small business owners, the middle class of the United States, and if you are interested in joining this podcast via Zoom or other means, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to contact you and interview you and get to know you and your business a little bit more. And again, hopefully we'll be able to light up a cigar and enjoy a beverage with you. So,
Yeah,
sorry,
I do.
that's my segue. True.
I do agree with that.
And listen, as a social animal, I would say that I would start thanking my friends. Without you guys here, I wouldn't have some important part of my, for all my source of knowledge, my sources of knowledge. This podcast allows me to see different experiences from different points of view, different areas, different strategies. That part is, I'm really thankful for that, for sure. The friends I keep from far away, they keep feed me with, every single day I have someone, because as I mentioned, as a social animal, I suffer more than the others. I really need friendship. It's part of my, it's like food for me. So all my friends first. Second, my mom, man. My mom is going to be 86.
Wow.
And she sends me messages like, hey, turn on the TV now. Grêmio is playing against Palmeiras. I'm going to watch the game. So she narrates the game. She interacts with me. The date we talked about, Meta.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
The first thing I did, I called her and I talked to her about that, and she was so excited. And do you have one? Can I have one? Like 86. And man, she's going to be 86. She's 85. So all this curiosity, she lives by herself. She does absolutely everything by herself. She's religious with her doctor's appointments and everything. She shares everything. She trusts. She's sharp. And she's 85. So definitely I'm thankful for being able to talk to her every day and realize that I'm going to be 85. If I'm 85 the way she is, I'm going to be fine.
Life's cool. Life's good.
Life's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I would like to thank Tamiris, my wife. She allows me, she makes me, she makes me be the best version of myself every time I am with her. I mean, not everyone knows her, but she's an inspiration for me. So definitely for all this complicity, right? So this complicity for sure. And finally, not less important, man, I would like to thank my clients, my suppliers, my team, and my partners. Man, I have a smooth professional life. Very smooth, everybody's committed. I have so many green lights. If you know my reference, Conrad, the green lights.
Yeah.
From McCartney.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. So I've got so many green lights in my life. So I'm really thankful for that. It's not only about always about money. It's about how smooth my job is, and thankful for seeing the results. Every single client of mine, because it's Revolve Sports, it's always about the results, and we see them almost every week. There's something happening. You see wins. You see so many wins so many times. I really like that. So for all of this, I'm thankful. Too long, right? A little bit too long.
No,
that's good. That's hey, we have plenty of time.
We've got all the time in the world. It's just us three.
You see, because many holidays, right? So we have this kind of always mandatory to ask how are you doing, and then the answers and the questions and answers are so mechanic. And then when it gets to this holiday, which is about something very palpable, right? Which is being, like just thank for what you have, right?
Yeah.
So no wonder, I think you correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's probably the most important holiday for Americans. More family like, more than Christmas.
Christmas is up there. Christmas, I would say, is probably number one, but Thanksgiving is number two. I mean, end of November and end of December is travel in the United States. People are out the whole week. People are, celebrate Thanksgiving. What's nice about Thanksgiving is it's always dedicated to the last Thursday of the month of November. So the date might change, the number might change, but the day is always going to stay the same. So it's always a dedicated 2-day weekend or a 4-day weekend, but 2 days of the week are taken off, typically Thursday and Friday, with the weekend Saturday and Sunday. So that gives people time to go visit family. So I feel Thanksgiving is with Christmas has the religious aspect of it, of connecting with family, and especially since a big majority of Americans are Christian, or people that come to the United States are Christian of faith. But without the religious aspect of it, Thanksgiving is probably the second most important holiday for families and people just to get together, relax, reflect on what they have, and be thankful for what they have. So I hope that answered your question, George.
It does,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. I have this idea that probably the Thanksgiving is more like an extended family thing, and then the Christmas more like intimate, just your core family. Does it apply? Maybe not in your case.
Yeah, not for my case. Growing up, it was always Thanksgivings with family, extended family, and then Christmas was always with extended family as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe other people practice it differently, but in my case, it was always family, extended, not in immediate family.
And just a question: when does the school end here? I mean, before the holidays.
So the kids were off Monday.
Winter break, right?
Well, for Thanksgiving, for example, they did not have any school.
They have the whole week off.
The whole week off.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 9 days, 9 straight days.
Yeah, because
from Saturday to Monday, and then the following week.
Correct.
Yeah.
So 9 days.
Correct.
And then Christmas time is around second week.
Yeah, usually it's
they got like 2.5 weeks off.
Yes, because they incorporate
sometimes
New Year's.
3. Yeah, sometimes 3 weeks, but it's about 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
And in the end of the year for Christmas.
So you're saying from December 15th, which is a Monday, to January 5th, which is a Monday.
Yes.
So
yeah. This year is going to be like that. Yeah. No. It's always starts on a Wednesday. So it's going to be December 15th. They're not going. So
17th. Is
17th, 18th. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So what day in December is a Monday?
Mondays, so 6, 7, 8. Monday is 8. Monday is 15.
15 on a Monday.
Yeah.
So the Friday before is the last day.
Okay.
So
the 12th.
The 12th. Yeah.
The 12th, and then they get back.
And then they get back.
First Monday of January.
First Wednesday.
So that's going to be the 7th.
The 7th. Yeah.
Because man,
normally it's a Wednesday that they go back to school.
Yeah, that's like 24 days plus the Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, it's 3 weeks, sometimes 3.5.
Winter break.
Yeah.
Okay, winter break, right?
It's not like a full month, but it's almost.
Yeah, it's just like in Brazil too. Like I remember, like my classes would finish in beginning of July and would get back
because the winter for us over there is in the middle of the year. Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
I would say the first week of July we would stop, and then we get back in the first week of August. So it's almost a month, a little bit less than a month.
there are times that it would be like 1.5 months. I remember. The more you progress,
in the 80s, I remember that.
Yeah, but
Maybe
also
90s.
the more you progress your grades, right? Your like, for example, elementary school, you have more time off.
Yeah.
Like 1.5 months, and then middle school you have like
a month,
in maybe 5 weeks, right? And when you're like on high school, and then that is definitely a month, a little less, maybe. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just grabbing my phone because I wanted to double check. My kids are out the 18th. The 18th is their last day. So
okay, so in my case, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
Up until 18. So it's going to be 2.5. It's 2.5 weeks. So what I said the first time, because my impression was like it's 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But
it's not as big as in Brazil. In Brazil, we have a little bit more break.
Yeah, but we don't
in the winter.
We don't have spring break. In Brazil,
we don't have a spring break.
And we don't have.
And we don't have Thanksgiving.
9 days like Thanksgiving.
No.
So when you put it all together, honestly,
we only have summer break and winter break. Summer break is 3 months, and winter break is 1.5. If you put it all together, it's about the same.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Honestly, I think even work, should be like this. You work 2.5 months, you should have 15 days. 2.5 months, 15 days. Even if you have to compensate the number of hours working more than 8 hours a day, maybe.
It would be healthy, yeah.
You see, it'd be super healthy. Every quarter, you have 15 days. Even if you work harder and more hours a day.
Let's get into the cigar review, but I want to touch base on the PTO and especially the difference between United States and Brazil, because that blew my mind.
I forgot that we have to do the cigar review. I completely forgot.
We jumped right into the podcast. It's a great one. We'll be right back.
Right back.
And like that, the snap of a finger, we are right back into
We
this.
are back, so we are snapping the finger for the podcast now.
So I wanted to get into, I know we were talking about time off, PTO time. So I always thought it was interesting. My mother-in-law brought up about how in Brazil, you don't get to really pick and choose the days that you want to take off. Like you have dedicated times when you can, you're supposed to take vacation time. So especially people in either higher education or doctors, dentists, lawyers, there's like a specific time that they're allowed to take off, and that's usually the December to January carnival time is from my understanding. So as the two resident Brazilians here,
no, really, I mean, sometimes
correct me if I'm wrong.
Even doctors, doing carnival, you have to have somebody, working.
Right, but the vast majority, I would say almost 90% of the people that...
It really depends on the industry, to be honest with you. It really depends on the industry. For example, when I was in Brazil in the tech industry, I had a bank of hours that I would just I could, use because, some of the projects, it kind of needs you to be able to deliver on time.
Right.
And then you go like, hey, you tell the sales teams like, hey, I need a time off because I've been working for 12 hours. So I'm going to take a week off after this because I have this bank of hours that is piling up. And I'm tired, so I need some time off. And then, the management will look like, okay, so we're gonna sell the project anyways because they have to sell the project. That's how business operates, right? But they will, some of the projects, it doesn't need everybody, at the beginning. But it will push you to the limit, at the end, when it hits the deadline, right?
When it's go live, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so always the beginning of the project, we could take time off, It's not a PTO because it's bank of hours. So it's like you've been working for 12 hours and you're supposed to work for 8. So, do you know what I mean?
Oh, so those excess hours
or 10 hours
accumulates.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
understood.
And then I could take time off. It really depends on the industry. Of course, if you are a salesperson in a store that sells like a convenience store kind of thing, right? Somebody walks by and comes in and buy a charging cable and buy a cushion for your neck, to travel on the airplane. Or buy a hat, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So whatever is stored that you're a salesperson, you as a salesperson want to be working anyways, because you're making commission as well normally, right? So it depends, really depends on the business. And of course, there are more businesses that are conventional businesses, not a high-end tech industry kind of thing, then, and also if you look at doctors and, dentists and emergency room kind of thing, you have to have people on staff, at all times. And then, people go like, okay, I work on Christmas and then you work on New Year's. And then, it's like next year you work on New Year's, and I work on New Year's. You know what I mean? In Christmas.
Alternate.
Yeah, he alternates, yeah. So it really depends. But again, as a traditional business that has to have that, imagine everybody's on vacation at a certain time, even here.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Father's Day, right? Father's Day, you take a day off because you're a father, and then you want to go to the restaurant. There might be a father there serving you. That father is not sitting at the table being served.
Right.
That father is not taking a day off, even here.
Right.
So it doesn't really change much.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Exactly the same.
How was your experience, George?
Man, I'll try to not to make a podcast inside a podcast, but I selected here a couple points, a little bit more than a couple points, the way I see that, okay? The first argument here is my history.
Say that again, because I don't think the mic.
It's about my. I always start thinking about me. Okay,
the first argument, yeah.
The first argument. It's just about the way I experienced work, right? So I started working for companies. Then I had, from the bottom, right? So as a puller from the bottom, so I see the relationship between owners and employees, and I experienced that. Later, I had my own business, and I could control my schedule the whole time. So that makes me pay more attention to that than any other structure, because I value this more, this freedom to work from anywhere. So I think that contaminates my opinion. I'm far away to the real life, to the way people interact in most of the jobs. I can only have an idea. The second one is about the PTOs, and it's about different social structure. Brazil had a completely different social structure that the U.S. had. You see, so back in the 40s and 50s, there were a lot of protections to employees. So there was various, in order to guarantee that they would have these benefits, they would have a 13th salary or Christmas salary. Have you ever heard?
Yes,
terceiro,
I've heard
right?
that,
So
yes.
it's an institution in Brazil. 13º, it's like the 13th
The
salary.
13th salary. So you work for 12 months, but then you get one extra salary in the end of the year.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It is not a bonus, right? It's just an extra, right? In order to compensate losses, you got your vacation plus 1/3, right?
And that's why people in Brazil actually, the salaries in Brazil, less, because they have to go look. Okay, I'm gonna have to give an extra salary in the end of the year. So instead of giving, let's say, 2,000 a month, I have to pay this person 17, because I had 300 is gonna pile up. So that in the end of the year they have the 3,000 to pay. And it makes no sense, And
it's also, Brazil is well known for exploit tremendously their employees, So definitely that affects. It's more like top bottom. That's the days I wanted to work. It doesn't matter if you wanted anything else. You have to work or you're fired. So there's a lot of fear into that.
And so, and I think that's kind of what I'm getting at is there's there were some days where I just wasn't feeling well, and I'd be like, you know what? I told my team, I'm sorry guys, like I'm going to take this day off, or the next day I'm just not feeling. There was one time last week or last year, I'm sorry, where I took a whole week off, where I was just I had the flu, and I'm like, I cannot work. I cannot even get out of bed right now.
3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, beginning of November, you had to take one day off. I remember that you were feeling bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That's, but to your point, I was able to take a day off. I told my boss and my team that I need to take this day off because I'm just not feeling well. So what I was getting at is the difference of flexibility as far as like taking time off. Is there a difference between the United States and Brazil, or,
as I mentioned, this social structure definitely defines whether you can or you can't take it. The kind of job you have it.
Right.
It has to do.
And
also,
I feel like that might be the same case here in the United States too. If you're in the service industry, if you call out so many times because you're feeling sick, finally your boss is going to come at you and be like,
"Oh yeah.
Listen, I'm going to find a replacement because
you have sick days over here. You have sick days in Brazil the same way, but you have to have, like, for example, over here you can just say like, how many days you can have a sick day without proving that you are sick.
So here's the thing.
That's a good question, right? Because
that's a
matters.
valid question. Yeah. So it actually depends on company to company if that is a benefit that they offer, or state to state. So California offers it, sick days. Texas does not offer sick days. So,
but some companies will do like, hey, if you're sick, and then more than 2 days, you gotta present
a doctor's
note. a doctor's note. Yeah,
right.
In Brazil, for 1 day, you gotta present a doctor's note. Like you have no guesswork or pretend to be sick, or you drank too much the day before and then you can't work because you have a hangover.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to go to the doctor, and the doctor has to give you a note saying like, yeah, you're sick, right?
Right.
And then it really depends. If you're friends with the doctor might give you a note saying that you're sick. But if you're just hangover, and then the doctor might just say, man, this is a hangover. I can't give you that document, And then the person will have that day discounted from the salary, right? They will have that day discounted from the salary because they missed 1 day at work.
You missed 1 day.
Okay. And this goes to a point that I wrote it here, which is the nature. It all depends on the nature of the job. I think that's quite important too. Again, if you get to a managerial position, you don't have to clock in, clock out. You have a task, you complete by tasks.
Right.
Many jobs.
Yeah,
now,
manager, you have like a position of a position of trust, something like that. Mm-hmm. So you can't even like charge for like overtime. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have like the manager has to agree with the director. And the director has said like, okay, man, take a day off. You've been working 10 hours. It's fine. And I'm not going to say, that you took a day off or something like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be an agreement between the positions there, something like that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And besides the nature, also, there is the generational mentality. The boomers, the generation X, Y, and Z. There is this thing, like in which some generations will focus more on the task finished. The other ones, if you get stuck in the elevator, you get 3 minutes late because of a New York 100-store elevator it's full. It's your fault.
Yeah.
They would discount it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so, if you're 5 minutes late, you should have left 5 minutes before.
Right.
Things like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Also, and then I'm just saying that because that will reflect also in your vacation. There's a lot of politics in public jobs too. You see, if you're more senior, you're gonna have all the holidays. If you are not, you just basically have to accept whatever crumbles they give it to you. So that's not granular in Brazil. That's big. That's definitely. It's it's kind of instilled and grinded in Brazil's culture, right. So the higher you are, the more flexibility you have, the lower you have. You just have to accept what it is. And also, I haven't been there for 7 years, and all this online jobs, all the the digital world. man, things changed in 7 years, and I don't even know how the relationships are right now. Really, I don't know. I know that friends of mine are, man, in top positions. They don't have any bond anymore with the companies, like they're just hired as a third party inside the company. You're a manager and you're a third party inside the company,
Yeah.
So that's also another point. So there's so many different angles that might, like so many layers and layers. But I would say, I don't know, probably if you're talking about someone similar to you, right? There are a lot of other benefits. They can take, they have 30 days, vacation.
Yeah.
Right. So, which is actually 30 days, including the weekends. Easy. Okay. How I never understood
it's
that.
Not really 30 days because it's
what I'm saying?
30 days and includes.
Oh, but it includes the weekend. So in those 30 days
are becoming at least 8.
Yeah.
From 8 to 10 days are not actually true holidays, because technically you work 220 hours, not 160 hours, 44,
Right.
and then you have to work like 44 hours. And then this is, so again, I don't know how this,
Yeah, it's
how
different. It's a little
flexible,
different.
it is different.
how
Okay.
flexible now because of the maturity. Because one of the things is that when the market is more mature, the whole country is more mature, the work relationship, man, if it's more bureaucratic, believe me, it's going to be worse. The more bureaucratic, the worse it is. So since America is, the foundation of America is flexibility, of course, this work relationship also is easier to deal with. You can't take, like Tamiris can I have like half a day? She can have half a day off. She's just got like 15 days, maybe 20 days. I don't remember. But she can have half a day. She can divide it in 40 half days. You know what I'm saying? And then in Brazil, it's either 30. Two different places in 15. You can sell your vacation. You can sell your vacation. So, it depends. And also think about, how much do you value your free time nowadays? How much do you value Conrad? How much do you value your free time because of your family? Because of
tremendously,
3 times more than a work day hour.
100%.
Right. So at your level, time is more important. Even though money is important.
But here's the thing: at the end of the day, I really enjoy my job, and I really enjoy working with my team and my people.
Yeah, because it creates a routine, and we are human beins.
But even before that, even when I joined this project, and times were tough, and it was like it was tough. It was nonstop. Even right now, I'm clocking. The difference is, and I know my manager was talking about how a lot of times they formulate and project that the average worker will end up working about 4 to 6 hours in a day, in an 8-hour day that they're supposed to be working. In a typical 8-hour day, it's the typical amount of work that they actually put in is 4 to 6 hours. And all major companies account for that one person only doing that. I can honestly say for like literally the past month, it has been a nonstop 8 hours where I am on calls, meetings, answering questions nonstop from the time that I log in to the time that I log out. So I am, the company's making their money's worth in the amount of
but that's what you do.
Doing,
yeah.
So it's but then there's times where it's not like that, where I can finish up, get things done super early, and then it's kind of just sitting around waiting to respond to things and stuff. There's a little bit of flexibility. But I find it really interesting how, because I take half days, quite a bit sometimes, where I'll tell my boss, like, hey, I have a doctor's appointment, especially since I work with a mainly international team. Everyone else is in India or the Philippines. So there's a lot of times where I'll be like, listen, I can only get a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or my kid's appointment during the day. I'll be gone for 2 or 3 hours. And when I come back, I'll finish up. I'll start my day working or I'll start my day there and then I'll come in, you know, the half day, catch up with everything, and then finish the rest of the day off. So, and which is great because it offers that flexibility for the person, for the worker.
And this is one thing you should be thankful for, because at the professional level you are, having flexibility, quality of time, man, when you have proposals, you really have to put all these intangibles to see if it's worth it changing, if it's not worth changing, do you agree with me? Because it is important to
because
measure
sometimes
that.
people jump from one job to another after a specific time frame, but depending where you are and the structure that you have, it's probably better off just hanging on to it, maybe negotiating a better salary because inflation and whatever is going up and whatnot. So
I agree.
How about that, getting 2 hours stuck in traffic? How would you feel every single day nowadays?
And what's so crazy is I was just having the same conversation with a couple of my coworkers because we were talking about now is a mid-year review for us to get promotions or bonuses, and none of us got anything. It's a tight month for the company or a tight year for the company, so nobody got anything. But like he was saying, he goes, the only problem with this project and what I'm doing right here is I'm not getting paid as much as I would like. But he goes, I talked to fellow coworkers or other company or other workers that are in the same company but on different projects, and he goes, they're working 12-hour shifts. And not only are they working 12 hours at the job, then because of traffic, and especially in India where traffic is just prevalent no matter what time of the day, he's like, then they have to sit in 2 hours of traffic to get back home, shower, eat, rest, wake up, and then deal with 2 hours of traffic to get back to their job again and work another 12 hours.
Grinding, man.
A nonstop grind. So he was like, would I like more money? 100%. But do I also value the freedom that this project gives me with time? He just, for this one particular person, he just had a baby. So he's like, I get to spend a ton of time with my newborn child. So he was like, that to me is double or triple the pay that I'm getting. And it really is, it really is true. Time with family becomes way more valuable than the money that's in your wallet.
Yeah. It's very important. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you ask me about the way you do your PTOs, I think it's smarter. You can kind of think about now in Thanksgiving, right? You said the kids get free, are out for a week, for the whole week, right? That's what you mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So if you have the opportunity, I think the holidays, correct me if I'm mistaken, is Thursday and Friday. It's out for everybody, basically everyone.
Yeah, I'm done with work. I have tomorrow and Friday off.
All right. So
not everybody, but
not
yes,
everyone.
yeah.
Yes, not everyone. Yeah.
Not everyone, but
right.
In your case, if you can take Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then you have 9 days, straight 9 days.
Yeah.
You could go to Japan.
Yeah. My coworker did that. He took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were PTO days that he has to use from his bank, but Thursday and Friday are dedicated paid days off, paid holidays, and then Saturday and Sunday. So he had Saturday and Sunday from last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday are holidays, and then again another Saturday, Sunday. So he had 9 days while only taking 3 days off of PTO.
Yeah. So that, you see, think about if you compare that to Brazil, you notice that's 9 days. In Brazil would be considered 4 days of vacation.
Yeah.
Right. So and you can't break it down this way.
Right.
However, in certain positions you can. Certain positions will allow you to do that.
Yeah, it really depends on the industry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the nature of the industry is really important to decide that.
Right, and I feel like that's the same way here in the United States too. Industry to industry, but you know, the level that we are considering and talking about is, management level, ownership level. So,
well, today, even though Dylan's a business owner, right? So Dylan took it off. Maria said, just don't bother coming. But I worked the whole day. But I also, well, not the whole day. I was out the whole day. I worked for about 3 hours of the day, maybe 4. And I went to get Lily, and I went to the store to buy her things that she wants to start playing golf. And then it was really fun, man. But yeah, so I kind of took half a day off, but I was not 100% fully committed to the family because I went to a job site. Friday I'm doing the same thing. I gotta go because we have the guys going to finish up a project, so I'm gonna pop in there in the morning, just because.
Right. There's another element on that topic, if you allow me to say, is that a large population of Brazilians make it about $280, $300 a month. That's what they make it. $300 a month.
Bolso salary or salary of Bolso?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll talk. I will actually compare with that Bolsa Familia, right?
Bolsa Familia, yes.
Which is kind of a
Social Security
type thing. Government, yeah.
Right.
So think about that. You make $300, $300 a month. Okay. Purchasing power would be probably, I would say, $800, $900 a month here. $800, $900 a month. $800 if you're talking about parity.
Right.
Okay, purchasing power parity. And then you have a social security that is going to give you probably $250 instead of $300. And then you say, right, will $50 change my life if I don't go to work? I can easily compensate this $50. I can make the $250, and then I will compensate. I will compensate somewhere else.
Doing something like for pocket money,
Yeah,
like untraceable income kind of
under
thing.
the table type.
Yeah,
of, under the table
then I'll do some handyman work, and then
Right.
Yeah.
So and then they kind of hold the power, because if they don't go to work, you want to fire me, and then you're going to go through the whole process. Think about, you're the owner, and then you fire me because I don't go to work. You say, you know what? If he wants, he fires me. I don't care, because they don't care.
Right.
So it's very common. People just don't show up in all these holidays, especially Carnival. People just don't. The amount of people who get sick in Carnival, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
How many doctor notes are they bringing in? Like, hey, sorry, got the flu for 2 weeks. Yeah, right. You're hungover.
Yeah, so you're a rock 340 days a week, but just for this month of February.
But if they have the document, the business owner in that case cannot do anything. They have to pay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They have to pay.
So but that's the thing. I was actually yesterday. There was it yesterday or this morning? No, it was this morning. I woke up and then I was like, okay, I gotta get to work, and so I came over here, and then as I'm uploading, some videos, and then I just watched a few videos, and then there was one shorts that they were talking about. Hey, if you have a salary of $10,000, you actually receive $7,000, and then the company pays $18,000. So the company spends $18,000 on a $10,000 salary. The worker receives $7,000. So the government receives 3 plus 8, so $11,000. So the government receives $11,000, the worker $7,000, and the business owner spends $18,000. So the government makes more money, and that owns more than you, right? Owns you more than you, and then everything that you buy in Brazil, tax related and stuff, is about between 40 to 50%. So your 7,000 that you receive, the purchasing power, it's truly 3.5, because only half of that, so 50%, taxes.
Right.
And then imagine you still have to pay the taxes on your house, the taxes on the car that you drive. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Man, back in the 70s, there were a lot of Texas was a big issue in the beginning of the 80s in the U.S. And then you have the Laffer curve saying, hey, if we reduce the taxes, more people will actually, declare it, right? So they're going to show the taxes, right? And then that's going to compensate. It doesn't work pretty much like that, but that's true. So there's a lot of incentives not to pay taxes. A lot of efforts to circumvent taxes, especially among the rich, where you have the lawyers to get creative.
Yeah, so with the tax code, and say, hey, if you want a company like that, and then there's a lot of things that you can try and do. Yeah.
So I watched and read multiple people say the tax code was written for the entrepreneur, small business owner. Mm-hmm. No, I'm okay. I'm perfect. Thank you. Mm-hmm. The tax code was written for the benefit of a business owner, an entrepreneur, to promote that type of business model within the United States. The tax code was not written for the everyday worker working for these businesses and these companies. So I think once you get around that and start understanding that tax codes were written for entrepreneurs and small business owners, and in order to unlock and tap into some of those benefits, you have to be a small business owner. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to be a manager of other people. And I think that's liberating, almost. It's an incentive to divulge into the freedom of small business. Is it going to be tough? 100%. But freedom isn't easy. But there's going to be benefits to it, financial, and eventually, if your business does well enough, time-wise, early retirement, all of the other benefits that come with a small business that grows to a point where you can just sit back and let your money work for itself, or your company work for itself, and you just collect a paycheck, So I think it's really interesting, and I think it's one of those things where but it's not taught. I think that's the one thing is taxes and tax information is not taught in schools. It's not taught. And I always thought that was funny. People would say how come doing your taxes is not taught in school, high school? Be a prerequisite. You got to take, a semester of taxes. Okay, we're going to play examples of you being a small business owner and you're going to be an employee. How are you going to do your taxes? What can you write? What can you use as a write-off, and what can't you use as a write-off for both of those scenarios?
Man, you don't have to go that way down. Think about how many professionals go through college, a master degree, a doctor degree, and they have no idea on how to handle a business.
There's that too. There's that too.
Even that, and not even taxes, as you're saying. So even running a business or taxes is even how to save money.
Yes, like financial education. You mean for engineers, for lawyers, for doctors, nurses, all sort of professions.
Yeah, there is no education on that. So I remember we talked about education long time ago on the Brazilian podcast that we used to do. And exactly like that. It's the school prepares you to be an employee, so that you can depend on going to work next month and then going to work again and then going to work again.
And look at that. Look what you just said. Like it kind of prepares you to be an employee, right? But I think they fail because they don't talk about the day-to-day of work. How to be more productive as an employee. How to navigate the politics of companies.
Yeah, even that they don't teach. Exactly. They only teach you how to do something.
Hard skills.
Yeah, they don't teach you how to get yourself in a better position within of what you do. Yeah,
it's just like personal marketing. How to promote. How about how to
sell
in public,
yourself?
How to speak in public, or how to communicate.
You have to find a different course after you've gone through 9, 8, 9, 10 years of school, plus if you do university, right? If you do college, it's how many years total?
What, college? I mean,
yeah, if you go like from elementary school to all the way to university.
Okay, so let's say minimum 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah, so
nothing.
8 years. Okay, if you don't kindergarten, then you have 8 years. In Brazil, it's 9 years for elementary school. Here's 8 years. Then in Brazil, we have 3 years for high school. Here's 4 years. So in total, it's gonna be like in the US 8 plus 4. In Brazil 9 plus 3. So it's 12 years plus the 4 years you engage in university minimum, right?
Minimum 4, yeah.
4 years.
Could be like 5 or 6.
Yeah. So I was just explaining that he said that like universities will teach you how to be an employee, not a businessman. But they don't even teach that. They don't teach you politics, the politics that happens every single day with every single colleague of yours. Right. There's always optics. There's always all this charisma. How about speaking public? How about communicating, adequately? They think, okay, I'm going to teach you one class of English. One English class. That's enough for you to be a great communicator. What?
Well, everything else is a streetwise, right? So you just get streetwise. So, this is a skill that, some people are developing better. And I'm like, let's say, a person can be like 50% streetwise because they're going to know how to navigate through things. And then some people will be like 100, streetwise. And then those people like getting promotions and whatnot, right? And that's not taught in school, No. You have some social skills because you're going to school. You got to navigate, between and negotiate with friends and whatnot. But it's not taught. But it's just experienced.
Well, and I was just going to say, I almost feel like that's exactly what has recently been happening with us in this podcast. There was not a manual. We didn't go to school on how to do podcasting. There was not a manual for...
We're on the flight, huh?
Yes, exactly. There was not a manual for Hilton to read and study up. There's no course on how to start a business group out of his warehouse. Sometimes you just have to start learning, and sometimes it takes years of you following behind somebody for that idea to spark up and be like, why the hell am I following this person when I can do this by myself?
I have another idea for networking. And I've been talking to some people like, I'm signing up.
The idea is you shared with Stefan?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I think it's
everybody, even like people that don't play, they go like, oh, but can I learn how to play if I join? Like, yes.
Yeah,
that's
of
the goal.
Incentives for that. Actually, a lot of incentives.
That's the goal. And then it's like, there's so many people who are like, yes, I'll do it. What is the pricing point you're thinking about? Well, it's going to be between this and that. And it's like, ooh, well, but, think of that. Because you're having a one-to-one, for a couple of hours.
Right.
So.
No, I think it's a fantastic.
The idea is good, but I got to implement and see how it goes,
but
right?
That's going to fall for the same problem I've already talked to you, which is whether you should have a coach or not. It's hard to differentiate which one is actually appropriate for you or not. Because, it's such a broad expression, so without knowing the depth of that coach or that, professional consultant, that's going to be hard for you to, to actually choose. Maybe it might take 3-4 years until you find someone who actually, releases your potential, like who.
I'm even thinking like the pricing point might need to be a little higher, so that you really only attract the people that can afford it. Because if you're looking for business transactions, so the business transactions are going to pay more, actually will make more sense if it does cost more money.
And I mean, that's the point of trial and error. Sometimes you have to keep trying until we eventually get there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a wrap for the Thanksgiving podcast. I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and I hope you learned something. I know I definitely did. Different cultures and different aspects of different industries and how they handle PTO, as well as just small business insights, which I'm always grateful and curious about. So thank you, gentlemen, for another Thanksgiving episode here on the Puff Drink Talk podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our subscribers and future subscribers. Thank you for tuning in, and please give us a like,
comment,
and share. Right?
Subscribe as well.
More important than everything is subscribe. So that you
that's
can
true.
watch the future podcasts and videos.
Yeah. Cool.
Cheers to another episode. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.